So my screencast has started. This is showing you the transition to CodePen, although for assignment 3, if you choose to do your Penguin assignment all on GameLab, that's cool with me too. But let's say you are interested in rotating, you are interested in fancier curves, not just arcs, then I suggest you look into CodePen to explore those capabilities. GameLab's a little bit limited, but if you don't want to draw a complicated penguin or animal of your choice, then you can stay in GameLab if you are comfortable. I have in front of me the assignment prompt, and I will be demonstrating this function, ShowMouseCoordinates. Okay? In GameLab, we're very used to seeing down here, we can show the grid, and then see the XY coordinate, and I'll highlight it down here. You can make your own X and Y coordinates in CodePen. But just as a review, right now, I'm drawing a certain face. It's hard to see something on the screen, so I'm going to no-fill. Capitalization matters. I'm typing that in. Reset. Okay. And so now, I'll turn off this grid too. Now you see a brief, like, smiley face, right? But it's kind of smirking at us, and I just want it to have the normal, like, smiley face that looks like this. Anyone have some ideas on what I would change? The arc is a useful function. It draws part of a circle. So down here is about, what is it, 100 and 350. Over here is about 200, 250. No ideas? We think about the amount of degrees in a circle, it's 360, and this is like a fourth of it. Yeah, Jesper. All right. Yeah, maybe 0 to 180. Let's try that out to get our half circle. And let's see. Reset, run. Kinda. We get that smiley face, but now it's still a little bit off. So it starts over here. Maybe we'll tweak these X and Y coordinates, and let's say we'll move it over at this first point of 40 pixels. Reset. We're getting there. Maybe change this one by another 40 pixels. I'm looking at just the X coordinates, kinda. Maybe make it like 160. Maybe make this one 30. So far, that's what we've been doing in trying to get the objects in the right place. Yeah? Okay, that looks pretty acceptable as a smiley face. Notice that my ellipses, as done on your quiz, has a width of 20 and a height of 100 to look more like those emoji eyes or whatever. Okay, so far that's what we've been doing for these first 2 weeks, and this third week we're still in this first unit called static visuals, pictures that don't move. Our next unit will be animating such thing, and maybe I'll show you how to make it blink or maybe make it smile and then frown. We will see. So, for those that are transitioning to GameLab, this code right here, it works in blocks, and if you're there, that's cool too. You can also show text. When you're transferring code to GameLab, to codepen.io, where'd it go? So here's my CodePen account. I'll create a new pen. You won't be creating a new project. Okay, every pen, it's called CodePen. You'll have a screen. You will be putting your code into the JS section right here. And save. You notice right now nothing will run. The classic error is that you haven't added the specific library. On the previous video, we were saying you have to add in the specific language that you're using. We're using p5.js. So once you save that, you should see a similar image. And you'll notice with this one, you have to add in a couple more lines of code. We see like the top part of the forehead of our smiley face because by default, this is a 100 by 100 canvas. We are now introduced in your assignment prompt to the setup function. Setup is lines of code that only happen once. You're going to see later that the draw function actually runs again and again. Ooh, that's funny. Look at that. That's a really big smile. Interesting. We're seeing some differences between GameLab and CodePen. And now, let's say I want to do that tweaking still, right? Like, this is way too big of a smile. My mouth should not be above my eye. And I'm like wondering, okay, I don't know what mouse coordinate that is. I see that with my setup function, I have create canvas 400 by 400. So the width is 400 and the height, remember positive y goes down here, is 400. And I can guesstimate that's like 200-ish by 100, and I see that in my arc. And then I go back to my assignment prompt and I copy and paste this new function. This is a helper function that will help you display those mouse coordinates. So I'm going to copy and paste those lines. Just wait a second, lecturing. So here, I'm going to put that below my draw function and save. Let's see. Oh, I don't see any mouse coordinates. I have not called my function. Notice here in the example code inside draw, you have to use it just like you use ellipse. If you tell the computer to draw an ellipse, you got to tell it explicitly. Here in this line, it says explicitly to show the mouse coordinates, which is a function I'm giving to you. That's not built in, but very helpful. If I switch back to CodePen, down here, I will call ShowMouseCoordinates. Now I save, and you'll notice if I pause ever so slightly, or if I go fast enough, you notice some numbers, right? But uh-oh, the old ones don't go away. That's not helpful at all. So here comes a beginning of the transition to what the heck's going on with the draw function. I want you to imagine you have an easel, think back to elementary school, a bunch of poster paper, or little post-it notes. You're making an animation. And right now it's being drawn over and over again, all in the same place. But because my mouse coordinate's moving, it changed ever so slightly, and the mouse coordinates change ever so slightly too. Right now, the old x and y coordinates are interfering with the new ones because it's all red text. In order to cover that up, we're going to be adding, at the very beginning, an extra call to the background function, like this, so that I just see something like this. Ooh. So now I have my huge smiley face, but now I can figure out. That's roughly, it says 201 by 50. Nice. Down here, let's check my width and height. Yeah, that's close enough to 400. Down here's 0, 0. Oh, good. So now we have that useful feature of GameLab inside CodePen. The last thing we'll do is let's try to tweak this smile so that it's down here. We notice one endpoint is at 10 and 250. I'll tweak around these coordinates. I think this is the center of the circle. These first two, it works just like ellipse, except this one tells you what fraction you want of it. So maybe we'll go decrease this to 20, 180, and run. Okay. Oh, now it looks more like Bomberman. Oh, okay, well, I like that. Maybe I'll just stop here and take some questions. Forget the smiley face part. I've talked with you long. Any questions? That's how we make sense of this starter code. It will be very helpful for those drawing more complicated shapes. That's the main idea. And I'll come over.